This is the Sabbath School lesson for the first quarter, 2022.
Welcome to Lesson 10. Jesus opens the way through the veil, ready for teaching on March 5. It's part of the series In These Last Days, the Message of Hebrews, authored by Dr. Felix Cortes, who is the Associate Professor of New Testament Literature in the Seventh-day Adventist Theological Seminary at Andrews University. And I'm your reader for today, Dr. Percy Harrold. Tuesday, March 1. The Need for a Veil. Veils have a double function. The term Hebrews uses for veil, 𝐃𝐎𝐒, could refer to the screen of the court, as in Exodus 38:18, which reads, "The screen for the gate of the court was woven of purple, blue, and scarlet thread, and of fine woven linen. The length was 20 cubits, and the height along its width was 5 cubits, corresponding to the hangings of the court." The screen at the entrance of the outer apartment of the sanctuary, in Exodus 36, verse 37, he also made a screen for the tabernacle door of blue, purple, and scarlet thread and fine woven linen made by a weaver. Or the inner veil that separated the holy place from the Holy of Holies. We read in Exodus 26, verses 31 to 35, "You shall make a veil woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen. It shall be woven with an artistic design of cherubim. You shall hang it upon the 4 pillars of acacia wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be gold upon 4 sockets of silver, and you shall hang the veil from the clasps. Then you shall bring the ark of the testimony in there behind the veil. The veil shall be a divider for you between the holy place and the most holy. You shall put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy. You shall set the table outside the veil and the lampstand across from the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south, and you shall put the table on the north side." These 3 veils were both entrances and boundaries that only some people could cross. Read Leviticus 16, verses 1 and 2, and Leviticus 10, 1 to 3. What warning do we have in these passages? Leviticus 16, beginning at verse 1. "Now the Lord spoke to Moses after the death of the 2 sons of Aaron, when they had offered profane fire before the Lord and died. And the Lord said to Moses, 'Tell Aaron your brother not to come at just any time into the holy place inside the veil, before the mercy seat which is on the ark, lest he die, for I will appear in the cloud above the mercy seat.'" And Leviticus 10, 1 to 3, "Then Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, each took his censer and put fire in it, put incense on it, and offered profane fire before the Lord, which he had not commanded them. So fire went out from the Lord and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. And Moses said to Aaron, 'This is what the Lord spoke, saying, For those who come near me, I must be regarded as holy, and before all the people I must be glorified.' So Aaron held his peace." The veil was a protection for the priests as they ministered before a holy God. After the sin of the golden calf, God said to Moses that he would not accompany them in the way to the promised land, lest he consume them, because they were a stiff-necked people, in Exodus 33, verse 3. Thus Moses moved the tent of meeting and pitched it far off, outside the camp, in Exodus 33 and verse 7. After Moses interceded, however, God agreed to go with them in their midst, in Exodus 33, verses 12 to 20, but he established several measures to protect the people as he dwelt among them. Let's read Exodus chapter 33, verses 12 to 20. "Then Moses said to the Lord, 'See, you say to me, Bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray, if I have found grace in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you, and that I may find grace in your sight. And consider that this nation is your people. And he said, My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Then he said to him, If your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from here. For how then will it be known that your people and I have found grace in your sight, except you go with us? So we shall be separate, your people and I, from all the people who are upon the face of the earth. So the Lord said to Moses, I will also do this thing that you have spoken, for you have found grace in my sight, and I know you by name. And he said, Please show me your glory. Then he said, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before you. I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But he said, You cannot see my face, for no man shall see me and live. For instance, Israel camped in a strict order that created a hollow square in the middle, where the tabernacle was pitched. In addition, the Levites camped around the tabernacle in order to protect the sanctuary and its furniture from encroachment by strangers, as you read in Numbers 1:51. And when the tabernacle is to go forward, the Levites shall take it down, and when the tabernacle is to be set up, the Levites shall set it up. The outsider who comes near shall be put to death. And Numbers 3:10. So you shall appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall attend to their priesthood, but the outsider who comes near shall be put to death. They were, in fact, a kind of human veil that protected the people of Israel. But, as it says in Numbers 1:53, the Levites shall camp around the tabernacle of the testimony, so that there may be no wrath on the congregation of the people of Israel, and the Levites shall keep guard over the tabernacle of the testimony. Jesus, as our high priest, also has been our veil. Through his incarnation, God pitched his tent in our midst, and made it possible for us to contemplate his glory, as we read in John 1, verses 14 to 18. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of him, and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, but he was before me. And of his fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. He made it possible for a holy God to live in the midst of an imperfect people. And so to finish today, think about what it meant that the Creator God, the one who made the universe, would dwell among his people, who at that time were a nation of escaped slaves. What does that teach us about how close God can be to us? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind, and It Is Written. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. Remember, God is always faithful.